Hello again, and it's time for another project. Today we're going to route out this "Don't let the things you want blind you to what you already have." Now it's 4 foot 5 inch or 53 inches. The main letters, the big ones, the capitals, they're 1.5 inches, and the other letterings are 3/4 of an inch. So it's quite small. Now the idea is to route out basically all the white paper stuff we can see, and then we'll have to stick it to a backing board because it will be quite fine. I'll put this on the tripod after this, just so we're not moving about too much. First of all, we need to drill a pile of holes into all these letters like so, because we've got to feed the blade through, and then we'll cut out the middle piece and all around the surround, and we'll use this little white line here underneath as our base for the letters to sit on. You could have routed this all out as single letters and stuck them all down, glued them all down to a backing board as single letters, but I'm going to try and cut it out in one piece, and like I just said, use this bottom line to keep all those letters together. We're going to use spiral blades on this one. We'll show you those in a minute, but first of all we'll just get a drill and just drill all these sections out, just enough hole so we can feed the blade through. We'll do that first. Okay, we've drilled most of our pilot holes in. You'll always find you'll miss one. Like there, I've missed one there, but we'll sort that out later, that's no problem. Now the idea of these pilot holes is literally so you can feed your blade through before you put it back on the saw. Now we're going to have to use spiral blades on these. The reason being, if I just find you one, a spiral blade cuts from all sides, front, back, left, right, whatever. Whereas a standard blade, which is one of these, a pin blade, they also get pinless ones, that will only cut from the front. So as you're cutting this wood, if I can just point it out, you would push it into the blade, and then to turn it you would have to turn the full wood piece to come down onto that W, and then turn it back up, and it's with the size of the piece you're just going to be catching the back neck of the scroll saw. Whereas with a spiral blade you can literally just have that like that, and you can work it round like that. Up, bring it across, bring it down, up, bring it across, bring it down, and move on to your next lettering. I can't quite turn this one around because the phone stands in the way. So you basically just feed it along like that on your scroll saw, and that's with the spiral blade. Single blade, blades at the front, you would push that in, and then you'd have to try and turn it, and we're just not going to have the space. So spiral blades, you either love them or hate them. So what we'll do, we'll get our spiral blade set up on this scroll saw. Unfortunately I have the old adapter clamps, top and bottom, with an Allen key to take that off, to put the blade in, to feed it up. I'll just feed up here where the W is. You can see like that. We've fed it where the W is, then we'll attach that to the saw, cut out that section, take it out, move it on to the next hole. It's a slow process, but hopefully the end result will speak for itself. There is better updated saws that just have a quick release clip. You feed it through, clip it on, takes seconds. Unfortunately I don't have one of these. So let's set this spiral blade up in the machine. In fact there's already one there. We'll unclip this, feed it through our first hole, and we'll start cutting this one out. With small jobs like this, always do the inner cups first. You'll be tempted to go around that letter B, let's say. Then when you come to the inner piece, you've only got the thinness of the B keeping it all in one piece. Whereas if you take the middle piece out, you've got all this piece keeping it together, if that makes sense. So we'll do all our inner cuts first, and then we'll go really delicate and try and do the outer cuts without losing any letters. Okay, that's enough talking. Let's start cutting this one out. gone round and done the centres of all our letters, or most of them. There is the odd one missing there, but it's so small. I think I'm just going to go in with the bit on the Dremel and just drill it that way. They're not even worth cutting out, they're that small. By the time you've done it, you're making more of a mess than actually just leaving them alone. So now we've literally just got a same procedure, and we'll cut round the lettering now. Remember, these are only 3/4 of an inch high. You can see next to a thumbnail, just covers it completely, so we don't have a lot to play with. And because of the length at 4 foot, you can see by that I've actually got it resting on my lawnmower and chopped up with bits of wood. So improvisation at all times. Right, let's cut out the outside of this lettering. I did mention at the beginning of the video that we were routing this out a couple of times. I don't know why I've said that. You can all tell this is not a router. And the tape was literally just glued onto painter's blue tape underneath. These little bits here were literally just to hold the template in place. Tilt the paper up, put your blue tape down, spray it with glue, flip your paper back again. Right, let's cut out the outside bits now. Right, we've made it all the way round. We haven't lost any letters off yet, but there's still a chance for that. As I went along, I literally just put tape round just to keep this all together, because remember, we've removed the bottom and the top section, so just keep it all nicely clamped together. Now it's just ready just to release this backing piece, just nice and gently, and we'll see what we've ended up with. And then we have a fair bit of sanding down. Normally I would use my Dremel with some sanding burrs, but remember, these letters are only 3/4 of an inch shall I say, so they're going to be a little bit delicate, as you can see, like so. So I'll gently prise this out now, and we'll come back hopefully when it's still in one piece. Right, so far so good. All that's left now is to peel off this paper, like so, and then we'll just give it a general tidy up with sandpaper. I do think this bit's just a little bit fragile to be using the Dremel with sanding burrs on, just a bit delicate. I think these will soon pop off, so we'll clear this off start sanding it all down, and then we'll move on to the next stage, which is hopefully put it onto a backer. Right, we've sanded down the best we can. All I want to do now is put a bit of linseed oil on this, just to darken that wood back down again. We've had so much sanding on it. I do have 2 dots. There's one to go on here and one on there. They're just lying nicely to one side. I'll just show you those. So they'll get stuck to the backing like so. So we'll put on our linseed oil now. Just normal boiled linseed like I always use. And that will literally just... we'll just throw that on there like so. Literally just to darken those letters back down. Making sure we get on the inside. It's fiddly, but it'll be worth it at the end. You get the general idea from there. I'll continue with this and we'll come back. Okay, we've come back. That's all nicely dry. So all we need now is a backing to stick this onto. As previously said, it's just too flimsy as it is. So we're going to have to stick it onto something. Now I spent an hour plus using a bit of the same wood just as a backing. Like so. But it was full of holes, so I had all them to fill in. Then I varnished it all. But I didn't like these lines on it. This was previously the side of a little shelving unit. It's all recycled wood is this. And then when I put the actual piece on, it just matched in too much. It just wasn't... I don't really want to paint this lettering if I can. I mean, that would have been nice with a nice red background and black lettering. But I'm trying to keep it all wood on this one. So after all that work and effort, that was a big no-no. So we didn't use that one. So I went out and got some cheap cladding wood, which is a lot lighter. And I started off square. It just looked too boring. So in the end, I took chunks out, took bits out the side. Just to give it a bit of a driftwood effect, if we can. So that literally will sit on there now, like so. I think that lettering just stands out a lot better with the clear background. I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to put any paint on this at all. So all I'm going to do now is literally just spray the back of this just with some bit of my spray that I normally use. Just this. Just give that a little bit of shine. And then we'll stick that to that. Now you can use wood glue, Gorilla Glue, Tri-Bond 3 is it? I'm actually going to mix up a bit of resin and just coat the full back piece with resin. And then stick that on there. I won't show you the resin side of things. I've done plenty of videos on that. And my videos are just starting to get a little bit too long because I talk too much. Okay, we get the general idea. I'm going to stick this all down. And then we'll come back when this one is complete. Right, everything's stuck down with our resin. We've got our little dot above the eye. And there's also one above the blind. That resin's really good for sticking stuff down, but any glue will do. Gorilla, Tri-Bond is it? Wood glue, whatever you're happy with really. I just used the resin because I was on with another project. So there you have it. It's 53 inches in length. The capital letters are 1.5 inches, and the lowercase letters just over 3/4 of an inch. So it's quite small in lettering. What it lacks in height, it definitely makes up for in length. And there you have it. Don't let the things you want blind you to what you already have. Thank you very much for watching.